Happy Halloween. Blessed Samhain, and blessings from the land of palm trees and desert breezes. Yeah, they got some pretty wonderful breezes out here in the early morning and the early evening, and at night it kind of gets a little chilly too. So, being a Northeast girl, it's going to be a very different Samhain for me. As you can see, I'm definitely not dressed like I would normally be if I was back in New York and the chilly weather and the cool nights. So I'm liking it. One thing that people don't like is that today Mercury turns retrograde, and it is turning retrograde in the sign of Scorpio. So for the last few weeks in the pre-retrograde shadow, Mercury has been poking us and reminding us about things that we need to let go of. Scorpio, endings, so that we can have our new beginnings, whatever they are. It's the death card of the tarot. Doesn't mean something's going to die, but it does mean that something is going to change, and it may feel like a death the way that you got to give it up, and you might need to mourn it. So with Mercury now turning retrograde in Scorpio, especially on Ancestors Night, you may feel the need to question the things that you have been doing and why you've been doing them, and decide whether or not you're going to continue doing traditions as they are, or if you are going to let yourself acknowledge that you just feel peer pressured into doing things by dead people and you don't want to do them anymore. You don't want to do the travel, you don't want to do the traditional customs, and whatever it is, you want to embrace what feels more appropriate to you. And I suggest that through this little bit of transition, in woodworking we have a beautiful saying. We say, measure twice, cut once. So the same thing, before you cut ties, unless they are for your safety or your sanity and that you need to do it immediately, think twice, cut once. Because sometimes when a cord is severed, you can't reattach it. So in this season of Scorpio, in the season of the witch, think about what you want to hold on to as far as the way that you transit yourself and the way that you communicate who you are and the way that you travel between the worlds. And decide, do you want to tie some extra knots and reinforce those ways that you've been doing them? Or do you want to break out those shears and start cutting some cords and digging out some anchors and letting yourself embrace the way that you want to do things? Sometimes change is inevitable, but sometimes change is really not comfortable. So think twice, but don't let it prohibit you from making any kind of changes that you feel are right for you. Like me being in the middle of the desert for Halloween. Got my little ears. It's definitely been a year of transitions. I hope and I wish you that all the energy and all the mystic value that you put on this time of year gives you time to really understand who you are and who you want to be. Sometimes we are our own ancestors, and we need to learn from ourselves. Listen to your higher self. Listen to your inner guides. Decide what is your truth and what's important to you, what cost and what risk you're willing to pay for change. And then go be your wonderful self, because life is magical, and so are you, and we need each and every one of you to realize your full potential. Blessed Samhain. Happy Halloween. I'll talk to you soon. And don't fear the retrograde. I promise you. It might feel bumpy, but if you let it guide you into the work and you do the work, you're going to be wonderful. And you're worth it. Give yourself the time.